Hi folks, welcome back to the China versus Europe Championship. So this time we'll be watching a game in the losers bracket between Vodka and Raius. As you see, they've just started. So it's Vodka at the bottom of your screen playing Baratheon trading with Qohor, and we have Raius playing Tyrell. Brotherhood without banners. So okay, interesting. We'll see what that deck does. I'll show you the draw at the end of this game, but whoever loses this one is eliminated from the tournament because it will be their second loss, and whoever wins proceeds to the next stage of the losers bracket. So since these two entered the losers bracket at the first possible stage, that means they need to win the most games of anyone to actually win the tournament now, because they need to get through a few rounds, and then they would need to win 2 games against the undefeated player in the final of the tournament. So we have Raius going first with the Knight of Flowers, the 4-cost one, which he gains strength when playing events without a limit, so he can grow pretty big. Used to be a staple in combo decks in the past. And Tormund is intimidated. He is knelt with Melisandre, so that's another card that is very useful with the agenda, because he has Intimidate and can gain another keyword, so that now has to go to Lemon Cloak. He gains Intimidate until the end of the phase. And on the other side we have Alistair and Melisandre, also Selisi and Bastard of Robert. So Selisi reduces the cost of lore attachments. We have Azor High Reborn coming in for free, and that will now cause Melisandre with her plus strength but no Intimidate to participate in multiple challenges, possibly. And that's a decent start for Vodka. I think he is in a better position in round 1, mostly because of the Melisandre Neil, of course, and since these cards are in play, that already tells us that playing a lore card each round will not be a problem for this deck. Now let's see what the plan is as far as attachments are concerned. So immediately puts Disputed Claim on Melisandre. That's not going to work for this challenge because power is equal, so maybe for the next one that would have been better, but there is nothing you can do in the meantime, probably. To swap Warhammer for another 1-cost one and then swap that for Disputed Claim, guess is not was not an option. And the 3-cost you're not going to trade away at this point. Maybe sometime in the future it's possible to play around with that a little bit with Seal of the Hand, and maybe, well, Ruby over Lore is rarely played, but I've seen it played in a deck like that, or maybe Hunting Accident, stuff like that. No Bodyguard though, so looks like he is not worried about protecting Melisandre. And we have double barring the gates. I don't think either of these decks are hoping to put any characters into play outside of marshalling. Baratheon has very few ways of even doing that, and Tyrell has more, but for us probably not in the Brotherhood deck. And no apparent reason why you would reveal this. I guess it's just a natural plot to reveal after the opener and before you get into the resets and stuff like that. So Begging Brother probably found with that bear in the main fair last round, but immediately that gets milked and Red Priest can trigger to take away off to Galtown. Okay, costs 1, there is 0 gold at this point. But now Vodka knows exactly, of course, what options there are for the Courtier and Knight of Flowers to stand and gain strength during the challenges phase. And we have Melisandre, of course, is going to target Tormund each time, and Lightbringer is free with Celici, as is Red God's Blessing, so the first one you marshal gets you some decent economy, and now there are plenty of locations for the Qohor loop. This one I think is not that easy to play than some of the others that try to get attachments with mostly the same cost that can all be swapped for one another. This one you need to do correctly, because once you swap an attachment for one with lower cost, you're not getting the higher cost one back. Land tries to intimidate again, but how do you intimidate enough of them to stop Melisandre participating? Okay, killing the Red Priest, that gets off to Galtown back. And now there is only one standing character, but is there a chance to get multiple challenges is the question. Either way, Melisandre will be getting power for Disputed Claim. Oh, and then of course she stands with Lightbringer, so she should be able to do 2 here. In theory, this is now where you can get an additional stand if you trade this for a Seal of the Hand, but since Alistair did power instead of military, it looks like that's not going to be a thing here. It's still lots of power gain though, already up to 7. Yeah, somehow getting rid of Melisandre, since she's not protected by a bodyguard, would be good, but then of course Alistair triggers if there is a reset, and he is the surviving Knight of Flowers, so it's not a great situation. And again, going for barring is Raius against counting coppers, so Vodka happy with his board. Against the reset now this would have been a problem with only 3 gold remaining, but this way I think he might be getting something free for Celici again, and something cheap for Melisandre to trigger. And now comes Lady Stoneheart. She kills loyal characters, so currently that would be Alistair. Not a concern currently for Vodka, but if he has to If he has other stuff in hand like Robert or Stannis, that now kind of blocks him here until Lady Stoneheart gets a milk or something like that. That's a nil for Melisandre. Okay, there is printed Intimidate now on another character. But still, I think Tormund or the other would be the Knight of Flowers, who is the only one who survives resets and gets to keep any power that is gained. Going for Tormund again. And 2 infiltrators. If they could trigger, that's another 2 power gained. We'll see if that is a possibility. And you're suddenly, with Melisandre getting 2 or 3 power of her own, very close to victory already. And I think the key card was that milk on the begging brother. That would have stopped some nil here for for vodka. Qohor can always, of course, swap into milk with the agenda, but yeah, much more difficult to play if an additional character is not knelt on the other side. And then you have to also lose an attachment from play. They are all doing work here at the moment, except maybe for this one. This one is expendable since Alistair is most likely going to be killed with Lady Stoneheart. So this time Begging Brother gains stealth, which means Raius can push a challenge through with Intimidate. Loyal character. And now he's going to target as many characters as possible, but unfortunately I think that's the only one, the only Intimidate he had here. So still Melisandre can do all 3 when it's her turn. Gaining a lot of power, and now even the pointy end he is not going to work because it would target attachments instead of the power on her. Maybe let this one go. There's some more Intimidate. Get rid of one of the little ones here. And since Red Priest did check most of the hand, Vodka knows if there are any serious threats or not. Okay, Alistair killed, since he was going to die anyway. And of course that nails the Knight of Flowers. And now the problem starts. So 3 challenges, and 2 of those unopposed. Gets Vodka to 9. That's also 3 renown. For Melisandre would be 12, and power claim would be 13. And then I think he can trade, on the last one he can trade this one for Light of the Lord, if he has it on R'hllor Infiltrator, that would give him dominance as well, and he could then trigger the Infiltrator to get to 15. If he has the cards in the deck, of course, it's easy to do it in theory. But yeah, you can't include everything, so we'll see if the sequence is available. And it's not, it seems. This time going for Bodyguard and stopping Melisandre from being killed, potentially with a reset. Yeah, Light of the Lord does not immediately gain you any power in what is essentially a rush deck, so I'm not surprised that it doesn't have it in the deck. But yeah, sometimes you do see it because it is a R'hllor attachment. It can come in for free with Silice, and it's easily tradable. And of course, yeah, if you stand something for dominance, sure, it's one power you might otherwise not get. And R'hllor Infiltrator can also trigger if that wins you the game. And going for you win or you die here into a reset, which keeps one character alive, and then have slightly more limited gold, I guess, having sacrificed this. That would be still possibly kind of interesting, but since the board was not reset, and he for sure is going to win some challenges, it's difficult to imagine how he could not close it this round. Raius this time leaving the gold. Somehow I'm not confident that he has anything in hand, because the deck that plays double barring to start with is most likely not going to have uses for challenges phase gold. There comes a R'hllor attachment that gives him the trait, and now has R'hllor with stealth, and yeah, this one is back, Zora High Reborn, so she is pretty unstoppable. I was deciding about the agenda. Only 7 on the faction card, so if there was a way to get rid of her, she is super well protected. Bodyguard and duplicate, so yeah, no way to get rid of her. That was a good one, really fast win here for Vodka. Not in, I guess, round 4, not in terms of rounds, but barely any time has expired, and really dominant. That's what happens sometimes in this deck. Goes really quickly. It's yeah, probably the fastest of the Qohor decks we see sometimes in Targaryen. building a Voltron character with renown. We saw it in this tournament, in fact, played by Reinhardt. And in Lannister you can do it. I think you need banner stack for that, really, on Alliance stack, because Disputed Claim is the easy one. Lannister's way of giving renown, Shield of Lannisport, is not very efficient. So, but okay, and then maybe also the Night's Watch Voltron Jon Snow can, but that's not that fast. That really it takes a few rounds, and then suddenly Jon can participate in all the challenges, and there is nothing you can push through, and he has all the stands. So that's a little bit slower, but equally dominant if it gets the right cards. And of course, search of the entire deck has a chance of getting you the cards. So let's have a look. So this was the third of our games. The fourth one, starting in about 40 minutes, probably is not going to play it on the Iron Throne. I haven't had confirmation of that, but I think that's the case. So we'll show you the result of that next time. I guess I'm guessing it's next weekend that the other games will be played, since that's how it's been so far. Everything scheduled towards the weekend days. And the situation, as we saw in previous videos, we have Reinhardt and Robert, both from Austria, meeting in as the last two remaining players of the winner's bracket. So the winner goes straight into the finals, the loser drops down into this part of the draw. And now we have Vodka joining Alex in round 2 of the loser's bracket. Raius is the first player eliminated, and the second player eliminated will be the loser of this game between Robin and Superduck, and the winner to play Adam also in round 2 of the loser's bracket. This is where the loser's bracket, of course, will need to catch up a bit, because they need to play more games than this part of the draw. Okay, so let that be it for now. Thank you for joining me on this one, and yeah, we'll see you next time.